again. Thank you for returning to my channel. Welcome all newcomers, subscribers, everybody. Today we're going to be doing a reading for the full moon in Scorpio this May the 5th. This lunar eclipse that's going to be occurring at the same time is going to be occurring in the sign of Scorpio, of course, which is a call for great transformation. Scorpio demands destruction and reformation of everything old, stagnant, and undeserving of the person that we strive to become. Scorpio is a sign of transmutation. All of our pain can be transformed from mere trauma into wisdom. Psychic awareness will be heightened. Do not ignore the signs coming during this time, for they are direct downloads. Rituals of release, especially in the realm of emotion and trauma, can find great success right now. So, I will be doing a pick a card reading. We have deck 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, take your time, really get a feel for the decks. Maybe you like this deck, or maybe you prefer this one. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Take your time, get a feel for the decks, and we can get started with each reading. I will be doing a full read for each 4 decks for the upcoming lunar cycle, and also at the end, stay tuned. As always, I'll put timestamps down below so that you can find your reading. And at the end, I will be also doing a oracle pull for the 12 signs as well, just so that they can get a little bit of their homework for the next cycle. So if that all sounds good to you guys, let's get started. Hello there. If you're here with me, this means that you chose deck number 1. We're gonna go ahead and start doing you guys' reading. And whoever picks this deck, this is just a little bit of the energy that you're going to find for this lunar cycle, from this full moon to the new moon. What things do you need to transform? Okay. Okay. I can see that for those who chose this deck, that you have really been in your hermit energy. You've really been spending your time to yourself. This may have been spent doing kind of like a spiritual kind of soul search, or it could just be the result of trauma that you're trying to process. And either way, it's just been your time to really be with your own self and to process what has occurred in your life. With the sun coming up in the reverse, I think that you're really being called out of this hermit phase and to step into a little bit of sunshine. Things are not as dark as they appear. It can be really easy, if we're having a very depressive time in our life, to really retreat inward and to not deal with the realities of our life and to only see the shadow. And don't get me wrong, reflecting on the shadow is excellent to do, but it reaches a point sometimes where it becomes very unproductive, and it's like, what are we doing here? Are we just stewing in it? It's no fault of anyone's to look inward at their soul and to reflect, but then you also have to reflect on the positive too. Everything in life is not all negative. And then we have the Two of Water, which I believe is equivalent to the Two of Cups. It really speaks of companionship. I'm not sure if people who are drawn to this deck have lost some sort of friendship or relationship, and maybe that is why they feel like, all the light has gone from their life. But it's kind of like that phrase, like, people are there for a reason, a season, a lifetime, right? Everyone is not here forever. Some people, their time with us, it just ends, and it's not through any fault of anyone else's. Some relationships have just run their course. Sometimes you have done so much reflecting that you're no longer the person that the people in your life know, and that is perfectly okay. You should not try to force yourself to be someone that you're not, just to have companionship. Let's see if we can draw anything else. I don't like that one. Let's start again. Okay, so now that we know what we're dealing with, I'm going to try and focus a little on the way ahead. We have the Eight of Water, and we have the Six of Water in reverse. And we have the Two of Earth, and the Eight of Water is all about releasing our emotions. It hurts to take that hit, but the thing about these negative feelings that you've been harboring and that you've just been kind of running over and over again in your brain is that you can't take them with you to the person that you're trying to be. Especially with this Six of Water, it's all about kind of like reflection and dwelling on the memories. And it's really warning you to not be in that energy. You have to move away from what you thought the future was going to be, and it's radical acceptance, right? You are operating under the same full moon energy in Scorpio, which is all about transformation. It's asking you to step away from what hurts and to let go of the illusions of the past, and then to step into this Two of Earth. If you have really kind of just been in a funk and you haven't really been reaching out to people, maybe this is a good time to start a new hobby. The Two of Earth is all about the decisions between like earthly things, but to me this seems like a call to action. Like, you have a lot of water going on in your spread, and now it's like, okay, I want better, I want to do better, I want to be better. Let me throw myself into earthly pursuits. I almost feel like with the Two of Earth, having to strike a balance, it's almost like you will find yourself taking on maybe more tasks than you should, just to distract from the pain, but I almost feel like it's what you need to do, because otherwise you're just going to keep running over and over about the scenarios, what would have been, could have been, should have been, and that time for you is over. So I will say to anyone who picked this reading in particular that you've just got a lot of soul searching to do right now. I think this is the most important sign in your reading, to focus on the sun. The sun is a pretty positive card, even when it shows up in the reverse, because what it shows me as a reader in particular is that you do actually have way more joy going on than you realize. And if you could just step away from the heartache, you will find yourself amazed by the beauty that you've been missing by only focusing on your shadows. So I hope that helped. Hello, if you're here with me, that means you chose deck number 2. So let's get started with your reading. Oh, that's all right, cool. I'll take it. That was quick. Okay, so if you were drawn to this deck, first things first, I've got 2 majors in a 3-card spread, which really says to me that this is going to be a great time of transformation, which is what this lunar cycle is supposed to be all about, right? You are changing, you are evolving. If you have not already had to make a physical move in your life, I feel like it very much will happen during this time. Maybe this is the start of a new job. You may be moving to a new place, or you may just be moving on from someone. We have the Princess of Pentacles. It does not have to be that this is a female, but it speaks to a more feminine energy, kind of like, or just very young person, maybe like a young adult or someone with a very youthful spirit, someone who possibly, given this move, has never been on their own before, because Pentacles is all about the physical realm. It's all about what we have here on earth, and it's kind of like I'm striking out on my own, and so now you're like trying to find your bearings. And with the Temperance card, I really feel like it's a call to the Princess of Pentacles. Like, by all means, it's so positive, right? You've got like clear skies, the sun is dawning, you have a rainbow. The future is looking up for this person, whoever is drawn to this deck, male or female, but it's just kind of telling you to really take your time. Temperance is all about patience, and it is actually going back to the earlier statement about how Scorpio full moon / lunar eclipse is going to be about transmutation. It's like the ultimate transmutation card to me, really turning water into wine. So if you are striking out on your own, or you're starting a new venture and kind of feeling like you're out of your depth, don't be tempted to make rash decisions. Really take your time right now, because you will be tempted in unexpected ways. Okay, I didn't want it to fall out that way. So, well, first, this one fell out, right? So, the conclusion. So, this is what's going on already. And this is kind of like the energy that you're moving to. Again, with the Temperance card, kind of like waiting and balancing energies, right? And it's another sign with the Hanged Man of not moving forward. And it is another major. So very big life changes happening for group number 2. If you can show patience and wait for things in your life to balance out after this move, after this new venture, and really take time to sit in these lessons that you are being forced into, I see the Princess of Pentacles transforming into a very beautiful place. The Nine of Pentacles, right? She is in her garden, surrounded by luxury and wealth. It's kind of saying to me that this is very financial for you, a big financial transformation, and it's telling you to really hold on to your money. Don't blow it. Don't feel like you have to show off for others. And again, I have a reverse 2 of Pentacles, which is kind of like not being able to choose between two maybe sources of income, or maybe like a lot of people will then be asking you for money, and it's kind of like, oh, do I save, do I spend, do I save, do I spend? I kind of want to know, because this is like incomplete to me. So very interesting. Group number 2, I will say, what is the ultimate decision? I feel like with this Hierophant showing up, whatever way you choose to go, it's really telling you that it's just a reinforcement of everything for me. And it's not really saying what decision that you should make, but just really imploring you to take on the wisdom of the Hierophant. Don't make fast decisions. You really are going to have to pull on all your wisdom. And I almost feel like for this financial decision that you will ultimately have to make, that you should confirm your choice with an elder. And it doesn't necessarily have to be someone in the church, but definitely someone who has more wisdom, because I feel like with the Princess of Pentacles stepping into so much abundance and maybe having never experienced that before, like, you're going to be really tempted by the people around you, like, oh, do I save my money or do I spend it? And it's like, if you don't have the wisdom, or you find it hard to kind of like buckle down and reinforce certain things for your life, it's saying to you like, hey, ask, like, phone a friend. Make it someone older, make it someone wiser, someone who's maybe lived this before, someone who's done it all and who knows how to maneuver and not be taken advantage of. Because I feel like when people see how well you've glowed up, they're gonna want to step in and ask for stuff. And just wait. Ask people who know better before you make those kind of decisions, and just make sure that it works for the benefit of you and not for maybe people with ulterior motives. Hello, if you're here with me, that means you chose deck number 3. So let's see what's going on with those who have been on deck number 3. Okay, well, that's the whole thing. All right. So, for my people going through this period of, it seems like stagnation, but I feel like you're probably coming out of it, because the Hangman is all about being stuck, and then the upside down, it's like you might as well be free, or like he's about to like drop off of where he's hanging from. And or maybe it's a state that you've really been putting a lot of effort into, because you're also showing up with King of Swords energy. It doesn't have to necessarily mean that this is a older male, but it definitely could be. Or maybe that you just have kind of a more masculine energy with you if you are a female that chose this deck. But either way, very rational, very level-headed. But with how stuck you've been feeling, it probably stems also to your mental faculties. You probably haven't been feeling quite as sharp as you usually do, and you've been thinking about, how do I escape this rut that I'm in. But I do feel pretty positive about the 3 of Cups showing up for you. It's kind of like these 3 ladies are having this joyous occasion all together. They are, you know, crushing this wine. They're probably going to drink it right after. They're laughing, having fun. This almost feels like, to me, like a workplace rut. Like maybe you've just been in a cycle of being always on the go, and now it's like, well, shoot, I'm so stressed, or I'm so out of ideas for work, or I just don't have passion like I used to have. Or maybe you're searching for people to inspire you, but in order to do that, in order to break this monotony, like, hit up a friend. It almost says to me that you've been putting these friends on the back burner, especially because they were the last card to show up. And now it's like, it's the only card that I have face up, right? So it's like, please show us attention. We're here for you. We've been waiting for a phone call from you. Like, hey, what's up? We want to chat. We want to link up. And it's okay. It's okay to let loose sometimes. You can't always operate just like strictly in a mental space. Have fun. Loosen up. And as far as the outcome to this situation, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, that's kind of like the action. It's actually like the opposite completely of what was up top, you know, because this is the current situation for me, right? And you've just been giving. You're all at work. You're kind of like, what do they call it? You just, you know, had a brain fart, if you will, and you're just like, kind of running on coffee and Red Bull or something. And it's like, go and link up with your friends. They've just been waiting to hang out with you and take your mind off of stuff. And then, you know, if you can follow this advice and really, you know, transform the way that you think about your work and your friendships. It's not either or, right? So it's saying to you to really pursue that, because this is going to be your gateway, right? it has the Ace of Swords, like I was perceiving before. It's kind of like you're out of ideas and you're like looking to be inspired. When you start to hang out with other people, you will receive your inspiration this way. Maybe you have even been stuck at work feeling like this sense of stagnation, like you're just out of ideas, like you just don't know what else to do, you don't know how to move. But once you get these new ideas, these new inspirations by being around people that inspire you, that want to see you win, right? It will cause the wheel to shift. You will experience this wheel of fortune. And I will also say that this is a big time of transformation for you as well, because we have 3 majors showing up. This is a time for you to really change your luck, to become unstuck, to see things from a different point of view, and to, change what maybe fate had in store for you. And then it ends kind of like on the opposite note too, right? Because whereas before you felt stuck and you didn't have time for friends, now you're able to come out of this hermit energy and, stop denying your need for companionship, for friendship, for love. You might even feel like you want to share your knowledge, and that's only ever gonna be to your benefit. So I would just say, if you're in group number 3, like, really step away from, the mental side of you that always feels like you have to be on the go, that you always have to be producing, or that all your ideas have to come from you. Be inspired by the people and the places around you. Go for a walk with a friend. Talk to them on the phone. And this card with the wine, it really suggests almost like having a night on the town to me. Like, go have a few drinks, meet up with a friend, have a few shots, like, loosen up and be around other people. Or, you might not drink, but like that same vibe of just hanging around with no expectations other than enjoying the company of people who love and care about you will do you a world of good. So, good luck. Hello. If you're here with me, that means you chose deck number 4. So let's get started. Let's see what those in group number 4 have to reflect on. What is new? What has to transform for you guys? I actually have not used this deck in ever. This was my second deck, aside from the Rider-Waite. Well, let me just say that the theme for most folks is really like strong pentacle energy. For group number 4, this imagery is of a person hard at work who has sort of fallen asleep on the job. Your fires have been running low, and maybe there's something that you have been trying to create, but you have just lost the passion for, or you just, had to let it go in some way. But with it being followed up by this 9 of Pentacles in the reverse, kind of like a barren desert, no vegetation growing as it normally would, it really speaks to me that maybe the reason why group number 4 has had to walk away from some of these passion projects is a lack of resources. And also, for it to show up with the 5 of Cups, It really speaks to me of someone who's been, for lack of a better term, kind of crying over spilled milk. They have definitely suffered a setback. I won't lie to you about that part, right? But it's kind of like, at what point do you quit moaning over the 3 cups that have spilt and look at everything that you do have around you? So these actually came out first. Let's see. Oh, that's quite a lot of cards. This is gonna be a little bit of a light chastisement for my group number 4, because I do see that you have lost your way, and that you've even lost a little bit of your finances. But in this deck in particular, and I'm going to go with the imagery that the artist put to the card, it has like a right side image, right? Where it's like the 3 of Cups is kind of like everyone's partying together, they're having fun. But in this one, it's kind of like you've been over partying, and it even has kind of like bottles of alcohol kind of like laying all around you, and you're kind of getting sloppy. And I don't want to accuse anyone of anything, but it speaks to me that whoever chose this deck as a reading, I really want to implore you, if you are struggling in your life and you are feeling like you just cannot move forward, you cannot move on, and you're trying to like kind of wallow in drink, please don't do it. Because as good as it might feel to drink your cares away and to kind of like wallow in the losses and the setbacks that you've been facing, it can quickly spiral out of control. And with this lack of finances, drinking heavily or drinking more often will not solve the problem. It will just leave you in a further hole. Instead of spending your money on getting yourself together, it's like you're now spending it on, drinks. With this Page of Swords coming up in the reverse, it kind of speaks of a little bit of gossip type energy. And I'm not sure if this is a person, if this is like you, or if it's like a person who contributed to maybe your lack of motivation, your lack of work ethic. Maybe they've even put you in a spot where it's like, oh, they're always running and they're telling the boss on you, and it's like making issues. Yeah, for sure. I definitely feel like this person, they may be making things hard for you now, but don't worry about it, because you've got the 6 of Pentacles coming up for you, and it's kind of like someone who gives away to you freely. Their gossip may hurt you right now, but what's really going to hurt you is the way that you act off the clock. If you are able to kind of move around what people are saying about you and to just put your best foot forward, there's nothing that this person can say or do to really, really hold you back. With this 9 of Cups, it's really speaking to me of someone very joyful who wants to kind of meet your emotional needs, who is friendly and caring, and not at all like this Page of Swords person. And it's just gossip. Yes, gossip can hurt you, but not from this person. If you give them a chance to really show who they are, with this Knight of Wands, like, they're going to end up tripping themselves up. They won't be able to help it. They will kind of just be a chaos, and they will show up to others that way. So I know it seems pretty bleak for group number 4, but I will say that no matter how hard the things seem like they're going for you, there is a lot of good here, but there are some strong warnings here. Just because things are not going your way now, and you may really need the money now, I'm not going to discount that, but don't fall into a pit of despair and try and drink your sorrows away, because that's not going to help you. It's only going to add fuel to the fire of those who are speaking bad on you, but they cannot stop the joy that you have. People want to give to you. People want to see you succeed. Let them show themselves for who they really are and get your fire back. Let them show themselves for who they are. You get your fire back. You have good ideas with this Eight of Pentacles showing up anyway. Get back to them. Give it your all, even if it seems like it won't pay off. Maybe not right this second, but it's the dedicated effort that you show that will inspire people to stand behind you. So whatever you do, don't stop. All right, if you've stuck with me this far, we're going to do a little quick oracle pull for all 12 of my zodiac signs. Let me just give a good shuffle, and we will get started with Aries. All right, for my Aries, we have patience. With the challenges that are imposed and the healing that is demanded during this full moon energy, I would say to any Aries who's tuned in that the key theme for you is going to be patience, both with others and with yourself. You know, we have a couple of blossoms on this picture that have yet to bloom, and the animal motif is kind of like this tortoise shell, right? It moves slow, right? But they live a long time, and even though this period may be agonizing for those of us who are working on self-growth, you cannot let that be a deterrent for your spiritual growth. So have patience in the process and trust that everything you are experiencing now is going to be for your highest good and for the good of your whole community. For Taurus, you are being called right now in this full moon energy to surrender. This could be a physical surrender, or a mental surrender. And I almost feel like this card is very psychic. It's kind of like you're surrounded by stars and you can kind of like see the bigger picture, and also kind of like God or your angels, ancestors, whatever you want to call it. You are being observed right now, and it's like things right now are going to seem very fated for you, and it's like, are you able to surrender and go with the current, or will you resist it? But it's kind of like the more you resist, my dear Taurus, the harder you are going to find to really unlock your true potential. So don't fight against the current of what's happening. Things are changing, they're transforming with this Scorpio full moon, but that's okay. Just let it go, follow the current, and trust the process. For my Gemini, we have sacred sexuality. I feel like there might be a little change in the romance department. You could be called to step away and save a little bit of your sensuality for yourself. Or it could be, you haven't had a fling in a while and it's saying, hey, get back out there. Whatever happens in your life, you'll know which way it's supposed to go, whether you're supposed to open up or you're supposed to close it down a little bit if we've been a little bit free. But to really ponder in either case the gift that sex is, both to men and women, and to just know that it deserves to be shared, but most importantly shared with those who love us and want the best for us in every way. For my Cancer, you are really being called right now to step into a little bit of ancestor work. Maybe you've been feeling the call of your ancestors. Maybe they've been coming up a lot in conversation. Maybe, your parents have finally wanted to talk to you about some ancestors. Maybe you've been dreaming about them, or maybe you will start to dream about them. But either way, I feel like if you've really been struggling with connecting with your ancestors, this would be a very good time, because not only does Scorpio rule over kind of like transformation, but it's also kind of like death and regeneration. It rules the underworld. And so this is a perfect time to step into venerating your ancestors, or maybe to connect with new ones that you maybe didn't even know were watching you and rooting for you. So I'm excited for you, Cancer. For Leo, you're really being called to have a little bit of compassion for yourself and for others. And maybe this has been a struggle for you in the past to really kind of put yourself in another's shoes, or to even acknowledge that you have pain, and you have needs that maybe haven't been met. And it's okay to admit those things and to require more from those around you. So step into it. Don't look away. It is meant for you to give compassion and refuge to those who require it. Virgo, you are being called to reaffirm and set your boundaries. Maybe you have been struggling with maintaining your boundaries with other people, or maybe this has been a path that you've been walking and it's telling you to just keep doing that. It may also be, and it may also be for my Virgo people, that you have really been shelling up, and that it's saying to you now to really step out of that. You do not have to wall up yourself. You do not have to close yourself off. Take a chance. Be vulnerable. Everything will be okay. For my Libra, we have destruction. In this case, it could be a destruction of old patterns. It's whatever destruction that it is calling you to make. It's of things that don't work anymore. It could be old patterns. It could be that you'll be forced to step away from loved ones, or, romantic ties that no longer work. Or it could be as simple as, hey, I need a new job. having me going home stressed every night. But whatever destructions that do happen during this period of transformation, just know that they are necessary and they're for your higher good. And even though it sucks to go through them, especially if you're going through it unwillingly, to know that even after a forest fire, the trees come back even stronger than they were before. So I hope that it helped. And Scorpio. Scorpios, for my Scorpio full moon, you are going to be called and maybe even forced to complete your soul work. If there's any shadow work that you have yet to accomplish, if you are trying to build yourself into a better person, if you are trying to unlock any spiritual gifts, this is the time to really put in that work, because you will be assisted by the energies right now, and you will not be able to put it off any longer. It is your duty to do it, so get to it. Sagittarius, we have a card that says get curious. And I think that is actually perfect for my Sag. You are like a hunter with your bow and arrow, and it's saying like get out there in nature, get curious, maybe start a new passion project, start a new journey, reconnect with things that maybe you were curious about but didn't pursue all the way. For my Sag, it's really telling you that it is time for you to think big or go home. And I know that you will definitely rise to the occasion. Maybe you've been laying a little low with the Taurus energy so heavy, but no, now it's like get back into it, get to work. And like it says, get curious, pursue something new. I think you will really enjoy it, and you will be able to make the most out of this new period of discovery. All right, for my Capricorn, it says reclaim. I think you are going to be put in a position where you really are going to have to reclaim a part of you. As was said before, this full moon energy happening in the sign of Scorpio, it's really going to ask you to transform in radical ways. Are going to find themselves compelled very forcefully to reclaim some things that maybe their trauma or wounds force them to step away from. And you know what? You can do it. You are the GOAT, literally. And even though things may have happened that caused you to step away from maybe who you once were, that person still resides within you, and everything was not all for naught. You can still reach back and reclaim a little bit of that shine that you once had. Don't allow trauma to rob you of things that were precious to you. Reclaim what's yours. Aquarius, it says self-love, and the animal motif for this card is a peacock. And everyone says like, oh, peacocks are so vain, but I mean, maybe they have a little bit of a right to be. They are gorgeous, magnificent birds, always been associated with like some sort of ethereal beauty. And maybe in this last cycle, you have not been feeling like you are 100% that girl or that guy, you know? And it's just saying to my Aquarius to really step into the way that you evaluate yourself and maybe see where you are being far too critical, to really tune into your self-love and to realize that it's not just the world at large that deserves your love and your sunshine. You deserve it too, because you are radiant and you are just as great as those you want to show love to. And Pisces. Pisces will be doing a lot of work in their ascension process. For my Pisces, they may really Scorpio is kind of like a very deep water sign. Out of all the water signs, they come across to me like iceberg, right? They have depth unexplored, and I feel like for my fellow water sign, Pisces, you are really going to be catapulted into a spiritual journey if you're not already on one. You are really going to be tuning in to the frequencies of the planet. If you have been having any dreams or any kind of messages coming through from your ancestors, from your guides, like it's all going to come like in quick succession, and you are going to have no choice but to walk down this spiritual path. But you will make a lot of growth. It may not be comfortable, it may be scary, and it may come all out of left field for you. But when it's all through and you figure out what these downloads and these signs mean, it will be so great for you. And I'm just really excited. Well, thank you for joining me. And I really hope that you enjoyed your readings. I hope that you didn't forget to tune in to the oracle pull that was at the end of your segment. And I just really want to thank all my returning viewers, my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed and you liked your reading, please do subscribe, like, share, comment. Any engagement really helps to drive the channel and to push it out to other people and to just make it a little bit more visible. So thank you for all the love and support. I will see you in the next one, and have a lovely day. Bye.